Hello and welcome to the channel, it's Irad, and in today's video I want to talk about an upcoming racing game. This is Test Drive Unlimited Solo Crown. That's right, Test Drive is making its comeback and it's coming at the very beginning of this September. So it's just a couple of months until we get a brand new Test Drive Unlimited game. It is made by KT Racing, which is very famous for its WRC games, and published by Nakens. By the way, in that team from KT Racing, there are a lot of people who actually worked on the original Test Drive Unlimited, so it's actually quite a proper sequel to the previous games. But is it good? Is it worth checking out? Well, we are actually having until tomorrow, by the time I'm making this video, a free demo for all of us to check out. It's probably more like a giant scale beta test to see if the servers are working and also get some feedback from the community before the release. They still have about 2 months to make a couple of corrections, and I think that there are indeed quite a few things to talk about. First, I want to talk about the positive here, and that's the map. I am thoroughly impressed by the map, which takes place on Hong Kong Island, which is a 1-to-1 recreation of Hong Kong Island. And as somebody who has been to Hong Kong twice, and I really remember how it was, I think that it's really impressive what they did here by recreating this map. It really does look like Hong Kong. I actually was able to recognize some areas of the island as well, and some places that I've been to that I've been able to go in the game as well. Really well done here from the developers who managed to really recreate the feels and vibes of Hong Kong. I also think that the cars look pretty good, especially I like the list of cars here that you don't necessarily have in other games. My favorite is the Alpine. You got some vintage cars like the Citroën 2CV. They're also making a comeback. That's pretty good. And it's also good to see that Porsches are also in the game, because in the original Test Drive Unlimited they were replaced by RUF, because I think that Electronic Arts had the exclusive for Porsche. I think that the races also are fun. I was able to find some challenging opponents here in races against tough AI, so I think that they got the AI right here, and sometimes felt like playing against real players, so that was really good. And I think that overall there's a pretty decent sense of immersion when you are playing Test Drive Unlimited Solo Crown. It really feels like you are behind the wheel of the car that you are driving, and driving around Hong Kong Island here, which I think is really beautifully made. So kudos to the developers for that. Now, these were the positive points, but unfortunately there are also some negatives, and some that I really think that the devs need to work on. I think that some of the sounds of the game are absolutely horrible, and this is really what gets under my skin, is that especially when we are turning, we can hear that really ugly screeching sound that really seems like it's straight from the 1990s. That was the sound that we heard in the old Need for Speed games, you know, back 30 years ago, and it seems like it's back in this game. Every time you're just turning a little bit, you just hear that like that. It's just really bad. And not just that, but the traffic cars are also making this sound, which is so unrealistic. Like, traffic cars are driving at traffic speed, sometimes really slow, and they make a small little turn that would normally be no big deal, and there you get to hear also the screeching wheels. It's just not good at all, and they've got to fix that. Speaking of glitches, there are also a couple of graphic glitches that are especially visible in third-person view, with the lights in the back, or some of the trails that you are making when you are off-roading. So that's also something that doesn't look very good, and overall I think that the in-cockpit first-person view is much better than the third-person view. Also, speaking of things that don't look good, how about the characters? They look absolutely dated. It feels like the same characters from Test Drive Unlimited 2 back in 2011. That's how bad they look. And here the developers, I think it's too late to change the characters. Maybe they could have some better textures, but it's not the point of the game, right? It's not the... Of course, we are here to drive cars, and luckily the cars look all right. But the characters that we are seeing, sometimes we have some phases in which we have to walk on foot. they're just bad, and same with the NPCs that we are meeting here. I think that it's really unfortunate that the developers did not spend the time to make them look a little bit more convincing. Last but not least, some strange choices have been made by the developers. Only 2 clans, and the name of the clans look very silly and cringy. The Sharps versus the Streets. Would have preferred something a bit more badass, I would say, or a bit more realistic. It sounds very too simplistic, and I really don't like seeing their logos all over the place when we have races. It just doesn't look realistic at all. Something that also gets under my skin is like there's some kind of hologram that shows that there are parking spaces, right? Parking lane. I have no idea how to get rid of that. It looks like some kind of replace me ball, but actually it's a parking lane hologram. I mean, just have a look at this here. This is just bad, and I just wished that there was an option to disable that, and it's just not there. I know maybe I'm nitpicking here. It's something that obviously you're not seeing when you are going off-roading or when you are going out of town, but still I think that it ruins the immersion in my opinion. Nevertheless, I think that this game shows some interesting features and does have some promises, but also features some flaws that maybe are going to make people grow tired quickly of this game. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Have you taken part of the free demo or perhaps the beta tests before? Are you going to get Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, or have you gotten it already? As far as I'm concerned, I did get it, but I don't know, I feel like I'm having a lot of fun playing it, but there are just things that annoy me. Oh, I forgot something. The wheel. Driving is just absolutely impossible with the steering wheel right now. It feels like there's no return, no force feedback. It feels like you're just driving with a toy wheel. It's pretty bad as well, and I just don't like how your hands just snap back at the original position when you are turning with mouse and keyboard. They need to adjust that as well. So yeah, that's what I had to say about Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. It's a 50-50 so far. I will try it out for you guys. We'll have an actual review when this is finally going to come out with a grade, and we'll be grading it out of 100. So we'll see how far this goes, and they still have about 2 months to make this a little bit better. And we did not even talk about the connectivity issues, but that's of course another topic for another day. I guess we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and wait until this game releases. I've been Irad, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.